Good afternoon. I'm KT, and this will serve as an intro for Growing Knowing, my channel, and the Lantern, a mindfulness practice, which is going to be the first part of the channel. And so I thought I might as well just get down to it and tell you who I am and what is going on. What does she think she's up to, kind of thing. What's this one doing? That's Mount Shasta. Dink, dink. So who am I? I'm lucky enough to be in Mount Shasta with my feet on the ground, and it's yummy. It's just real yummy here, and so I'm moving here. And so here's kind of what's going on. Here's who I am. I am 2 years into a spiritual awakening, kind of a spiritual journey into self. And it was prompted by a really powerful past life reading that got my attention, shook me by the collar, and haven't been able to look back since. I was prompted to really continue my journey of self and leave a 9-year relationship. We settled. I walked away from the house. Also retired from UPS after 30 years last year. And I'm 10 years sober as of 2024 this year. And so I bought a camper van at the end of the relationship. I came into a little bit of scratch that was very helpful at exactly the right time. And I began adventuring. I had a base camp. I have a base camp out of Santa Fe. And so I'd go adventure and come back and restore and refresh and get my courage up and build my route. And it's been a journey of self, and it's been a journey of courage without a doubt. The most courageous thing that I've done in a good long while. And so I'm real proud of myself. For having the courage to do it, and I'm really grateful for having the opportunity to do it. And so about in February, I started getting impressions around purpose, that I was kind of more teacher, and it was going to be me leveraging the things that I did in my career with a lot of preparation for leadership. I was mid-management, kind of upper mid-management most of my career. And we had to prepare a lot of stuff to convince leadership to do stuff. And then I also learned that if you got ahead of things and prepared things for leadership on strategy that the group's doing, I'd help my boss with, okay, let me just, put some stuff together, get your blessing. What do you think? Here's the direction of the strategy, the group, and then people development and those kind of things. And a lot of that. And I felt like starting in February that I was going to be putting together some content that was going to be helpful around what to kind of expect during early days of your journey. And at first I thought it was going to be a bowling alley with 10 lanes, and I had really good analogies around that. I'm a big visual person. And then what it started to come through as is the lantern. And in order to represent it, I needed to do it through a YouTube channel. And so rather than have it just be limited to the lantern, I was inspired after spending time here in Mount Shasta. My creativity is just absolutely out of control in a fantastic way. I don't feel like it's out of control because it's really interesting what's happening here. And so it's a channel called A Growing Knowing. And a growing knowing represents maybe that still small voice inside of you, that intuition, that gut that tells you that there's more. And maybe even as I say that, pay attention to how you feel, kind of right in kind of these areas. Okay? Where are you at in your life, and how do you feel about it? Are you happy with where you're at in your life? A growing knowing. And so what happens is kind of when you get kind of hooked into that idea that maybe there's more, and there certainly is, I promise you that, and that you can find peace, you can sleep better, you can really begin to enjoy life, then you kind of start pursuing it, following the breadcrumbs. Well, I want to provide the breadcrumbs. And so A Growing Knowing is the channel. There's going to be other content that comes through, starting with the lantern. And the lantern represented something very powerful to me, an influencer that I really still enjoy and follow. And she still comes through with collective readings that hit for me. Is a lantern. She got the image of a lantern and explained what it meant. And with really out having to explain it too much, you kind of get it, right? Like you get a ton of illumination in your next couple of steps. And beyond that, it doesn't really have much of an impact. But boy, the next couple of steps are very clear. And then that's when it hit, boom, that's what this was going to be called. And then as I kind of continue to record, I've been recording since the end of April, but it's been more about practicing, I think, than anything else, and kind of getting my rhythm and letting this stuff come through. And now I've landed on a mindfulness practice. If you do it daily or close to daily, your journey will unfold before you, and you will be introduced to kind of the things that you're supposed to be doing as you start this journey. And if you're kind of into your journey right now and you're like, it's kind of getting rocky and I'm not sure what to do. I mean, all fours on the floor crying. I mean, going through tissue boxes like crazy. That was last September and October. Pretty much I started to taper off a little bit in the summer, but you know, you're going through some tough stuff. And so the lantern represents focus on what's in front of you. The mindfulness practice gives you something to focus on right in front of you. Do these things. Gratitude, find gratitude every day. Gratitude is magic. That's the magic sauce. Meditation is the magic practice. The ability to quiet your mind and meditate to bring a calmness in. Once you get a taste of it, you'll understand, is really kind of the inspiration. Journaling helps you get there. It starts to get things cooking. Let's get an idea where the gunk is and clear it out. Move around outside. We've got neat bodies. Our bodies are real neat. And we'll start to understand that a little bit more. We got to move around outside. We got to get outside and appreciate nature. We got to get by trees. We got to get our feet in grass. We got to go on hikes. We got to get in water. We got to listen to bird song. Nature is very, very, very powerful and healing. And it helps our bodies. And so while we're doing all this stuff, then also let's take a journey of self-care while we're at it. And that's really the fifth bolt-on in this mindfulness practice, is a journey of self-care. And isn't it interesting that the self-care message started coming through in July? And come to find out, September is self-care month. So it just, the synchronicities are intense and powerful. And so we are going to take a journey of self. And during that journey, we're going to start to pay attention to how we treat ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. We're going to start to cultivate a relationship that makes us feel a little bit better about who we are, where we've been, and what we've done. We're going to come to terms with things about ourselves. And it's just going to be the magic of the journey. Because it's what? The journey of 1,000 steps, or 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Sometimes I get really excited to talk about it. I always get really excited because I'm doing this, and I'm supposed to be doing this. And when I think about doing this, and I'm moving to Mount Shasta, and I'm doing this, right? And I'm in full surrender. I've been in full surrender for 9 months. And that's real tricky. And it turns out that this darn lantern is just in time for me. This is exactly what I need. And I mentioned that earlier, that it is helping to anchor me. So I know what my next steps are, and it's to continue to do this. And so the content will be robust. I am fire with my creativity. There are so many things coming through. Abundance is flowing. I found a rental house that is just magical. It's all really working out. And as long as I do this and I don't think about that, then it absolutely is. And so I encourage you to follow. Stick around. There's going to be drops. And they're going to be reminders of the 5 steps: gratitude, meditation, journaling, move around outside, and self-care, and little activities along the way to help kind of start to chum the water and get things kind of cooking. Because in order for us to get to where we need to go on our self-care journey, we're going to have to look in some dark corners. And I'm hoping that what I'm presenting and preparing for you folks is bolstering you for that effort. You can do it. You have more courage than you'll ever know. And I can speak from experience because I have done things this past year that I would never imagine doing alone. I've been traveling in a camper van, driving around, camping a lot, staying in all kinds of places, and I've landed where it is that I'm supposed to be. And what I am getting the impression is root and build. I'm done traveling. Nest, root, and build. And if it's any indication with the creativity that's been coming through, I'm really excited about the content. The content is going to expand beyond me. Right now, I'm the star of the show. But I'm figuring out a way to get other folks engaged and give you content about what has inspired me and what my frame of reference is and what has helped form that. All kinds of neat things. But that will serve as my intro. That is who I am. That is who I am, and this is my jam. And every time I think about this, I just am real excited about it, and I'm real happy about it. And things like this happen where I am filled with absolute certainty that this is my purpose. I am filled with absolute certainty that this is my purpose. I'm inspired to help you. My life is not easier. But boy, oh boy, it's so much better. And yours can be too. So stick around, follow along, get the drops. Let's get the drops going. All right, so you guys start going. We're going to start doing the drops. And then it's going to evolve from there. But I already think I know where I'm going with it. And I invite you to stick around. So at some point, we're going to be looking at feedback and all of that stuff. But initially, we're just going to be doing the drops. And then be opening it up a little bit further down the line. So I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for sticking around this long. We've got it right at about 11:11. Ta-da! All right, be well.